Mike's hot, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day. Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucks on the goal line, Bulls ride or die. From the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is on this Friday morning as the stadium saga continues. This will be a show unlike any other because I'll just tell you guys right off the top, I'm not exactly sure where this is going. It has been about 16 hours of talking to a lot of different people involved with this. Reading everything that is humanly available to consume about this Rays stadium saga and what happened yesterday. So I have got copious notes here, Timmy. These are copious notes. None of you could read any of it, and I'm not sure I can read any of it.
Did you write it in shorthand?
It's bizarre. It's bizarre, but we're going to give it our best shot here. Welcome in to you, Petermans, all of our members as well. We appreciate you. IndyCar Tim, thanks for getting us up and going this morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm hanging in there. It's overcast, and it's only 98 degrees right now at 9:02 a.m. Central Time.
Things are heating up, I'd say, with the stadium, but, man,
yeah,
it's just so far beyond that. So, yeah, we're going to get to the Bucks today. We're going to get to the Rays today. I'm not exactly sure. We had a guest scheduled. We had to change gears on that because, obviously, this is going to be the main topic of conversation today. And we really invite all of you to get involved in this. I'm going to try to bring you guys in because most of you are extremely learned. You have also consumed much media that maybe I didn't even get to. So I appreciate all of your inputs into this thing. And I'm going to stress something today with you guys is I have, I've been doing this for 30 years here in this market, and I've tried to build my reputation on being authentic with you guys and sharing what I know, sharing what I can, and just trying to give you the clearest picture that I most possibly can of what's going on behind the scenes. And that's going to be tested today, and that's what we're going to do. So I want to, just preface it by saying that. Now, I'm going to say this right off the top. The deal is not dead. The deal is not dead. Is there time for major concern? Absolutely. 100%. As I've told you guys, I've never been more confident that it's going to get done over the past few weeks. I'm still confident that it's going to get done in some form. A little less. It's not going to be maybe as easy as none of this has been easy, but there's definitely a wrench in the goings on, which happened yesterday. So I'll try to walk you through all of it, what I know, and away we go. So just kind of background. I just got off the phone with Ken Babby, who met with Councilman Carlson for 2 hours this morning over breakfast. And Carlson, after a vote last night, that was, in my opinion, irresponsible by the city council. It was a procedural vote that I've been told has been taken thousands of times in legislatures and city councils all across the state of Florida, and rarely, if ever, does it happen where the planning commission and staff recommend that a council transmit this, is what they call it, to Tallahassee, and it not be done. What was done yesterday was a signal that the city council is their butt hurt and they want to be consulted. And it's not to say that the Rays haven't reached out to do so. They have. But there was no question that this was a sign that they are not happy. Now, the mayor wrote something, put out a statement that was very caustic of the city council. I'm going to read that in a little bit. But the bottom line is this. Can we get done without the city? Is there a pathway? Yes, there is. There is a pathway to get it done without the city. But it is a rocky, glass-filled road that you do not want to go down. For the long-term prognosis of this project, you want the city on board, and the city should be on board. And the mayor is all for it. The future mayors, most of them are for it. Shouldn't say most, some are. That's a lot of what is going on right now is strictly political. And to play political games with something that is this important is absolutely ridiculous and irresponsible. And unfortunately, that's the way these things work. Who gets credit for it, when they get credit, matters to politicians. And sometimes as we see this at the federal level all the time, they don't care what the outcome is. They just care who gets credit and who gets reelected. And that's no way to get things done, in my opinion. But be that as it may, the smoothest way and the fastest way and to keep on this timeline to get it done is to have the city on board. Now, what happened yesterday was, again, what should have been just a procedural vote. I don't want to get into all the minutiae. I'm going to try to boil this down to something we can really just understand. And that is, this was a procedural vote that happens 1,000 times out of 1,000. And the city council decided, and depending on who you talk to, what they did was may have been against the rules, depending on who you talk to, that, there could be repercussions of making a vote like this when you're violating what some would say the state statutes by doing it. So what the council did last night was highly, highly irregular, and it should not have been done. If they wanted to, they're going to have a final vote on this anyway. And if they wanted to, show that they're not for this and tank the deal, they could do it at that time. There was no reason to stop the process. You remember the non-binding MOU when Carlson voted to keep that rolling? That kept the process going, kept people talking. That was the right thing to do. This is a situation yesterday, very much the same. And they chose to stop it with the land use. And again, it may be something that could be actionable against council members. But I'm sure nobody wants to go that route. Nobody wants to do that. What we want to do is get someone on the council to step up and say yes. And I'll be frank with you folks, that man is Bill Carlson. Bill Carlson is the man that's either going to save or tank this deal. Maniscalco, Charlie Miranda, Lynn Hurtak, they're no's. And I thought, Guido would be flippable, but from what I'm hearing, he's not. And, if I were him and I wanted to keep my job, I would think otherwise. If he thinks that grassroots people are going to keep him in office, that was yesterday. That was when nobody really cared who's on the city council. I want to say nobody cared, but very few people turn out for that vote. You do this, there'll be a big turnout. Trust me. This is I don't want to threaten anybody with their jobs, but it's not about, if you oppose it, I get it. But you better have good reasons and be able to justify what you're saying and why you're doing it. If you're doing it just to be, to think you might get reelected and play politics with this thing, that's not what you're charged to do publicly. You are charged to look at this deal on its face and be able to understand the complexities of it and really do your homework and not wait for somebody to come knock on your door and spoon feed it to you. But you're charged when you're elected, you're charged to do your job and dig into this and understand what's in the bill, what the benefits are, and judge it on its merits, not what's best for you politically. That's not your job, especially when it's the biggest decision in the history of the city of Tampa and the county of Hillsborough. And I'm not just talking about sports. That's your job. It's not to play politics with this. So if that being said, what this comes down to now, and from a procedural standpoint, and I know I'm jumping all over the place. I apologize. I'm trying to keep this as streamlined as I can. But from a procedural standpoint, what happened yesterday can be undone just next week. Okay, they can bring it back if Carlson comes forward, and he can do that and says we want to, We're going to vote again on this transmittal. They can do the transmittal for the land use and get it back on track. So there's time to do it. It could be done next week. Okay? So for everybody who wants to, I'm telling you, what we need to do is send flowers to Mr. Carlson. Don't skewer him, because at this point, that, if whatever happens, we can do that later. Okay? But if we want to get this deal done, I'm just being frank with you, we have to send the flowers to Mr. Carlson and say, let's get this thing back on track. There's these other three are hopeless. They're hopeless. And, I don't even want to start talking about Charlie Miranda and just the lack. They're not going anywhere. It's Carlson. All right. So let's try to push him in the right direction. He's the guy. He can either save it or he can tank it. And let's hope he saves it. So and my message to you, Petermans, today is to hold your powder for just a little bit longer. I know you want to explode just like I do. And I'm just being frank with you guys. I want to go scorched earth. But at this point, it's not where that needs to be. We need to take a deep breath, be measured in this, and keep the ends the main thing. We need to get this deal done. And if that takes, sending flowers and kissing some butt, we got to do it. We got to do it at this point. So let's be respectful and say, Mr. Carlson, it's up to you. You could transmit this land use deal. Do what the council should have done, is charged to do. The legal language just says you shall do it. If the staff tells you to do it and the planning commission tells you to do it, you shall do it. That is your legal right. They said, no, we're not. We're not going to do it. And stuck their tongue out. Okay, fine. You made your point. Let's get back to the business. Let's get back to the business. Let's put it back on the agenda for next week. And let's vote on it. Make it 4-3 and continue the process. Continue the process. Again, there are ways around it. There's ways around the city. The county is prepared to do a TIF deal that stretches out the timeline, obviously. There are things that the city needs to vote on, and this is why you need the city. You need them to be on board. Height restrictions are one of them. So there's a lot of logistics here that make it tough to move on without the city. Can you do it? Yes. Can they move forward with just the stadium, a hotel, and the redevelopment of the college in a first phase without the city's help? Yes, they can do that as well. There's an avenue for that. But the best avenue is to get Carlson on board and let him be the hero. I know he's running for mayor. If I were you, Mr. Carlson, I would be the one that pushes this vote over the top. And then you could take credit for it. That's fine. That's fine with me. I'm good. And I think every Peterman is good and everybody's good. We don't care how it gets done, who gets the credit. Nobody cares. We want what's best for Tampa Bay. We want what's best for the city of Tampa. We want what's best for our region. We want what's best for the Rays, because this is clearly in the self-interest of the franchise itself. And if you're a baseball fan and what they're able to do on the field, you desperately want this. And I'm telling you, if it doesn't pass, they're leaving. Now, Ken won't say that to me. I asked him point blank. He's not saying that. He doesn't have to say it. It's common sense. There's too many suitors out there. 10 cities lined up. And if this city council wants to play hardball, which is what they signaled yesterday because they feel like they're not part of the process, and let me make this clear. They are part of the process. Their staff is part of the process. Their staff is in the negotiations. Their staff and the mayor are constantly being updated by the Rays. Constantly. And I'll just tell you what's going on behind the scenes in case you don't know. A lot of you do. The mayor and the city council, they hate each other that may be a little bit too simplistic and hard, but there's constant tension between the city council and the mayor's office. And I think you could see that by what the mayor said yesterday. This is from Mayor Castor. She said, and from the Times, it's beyond frustrating that as the city and county leaders are working tirelessly to hammer out an equitable deal to bring the Rays to Tampa, city council members want to halt our efforts in their tracks. Some of them clearly are intent on killing the Rays plan even before negotiations are done and an agreement is ready for review. It defies common sense that city council members would prefer to have no say in the benefits a Tampa Bay Rays project would bring to our city and instead punt it to the county to work it out. And the problem is, if you punt it to the county, it may not get to the county. It may get straight to Orlando. And again, the Rays have never, to their credit, have never directly negotiated with another city or even talked to another city, as far as I'm aware of. Every team threatens to move. They go there, they visit the place, they get the media out there to put the leverage on the team that they're trying to get, or the city they're trying to get the stadium from. We were that leverage, remember? Every team does it. You know who doesn't? This Rays ownership group. They haven't done that. And frankly, in my opinion, could they have played a little bit more hardball? Yeah, they could have, and probably got the deal done, but they wanted to do it the right way. They want to do it the right way. But the city council is not repaying that sense of fairness, in my opinion. They're not. But they still have a chance to make this right, and that's the most important thing. They still have a chance to make this right, and Bill Carlson can do that. And, yes, Maniscalco could probably do it. Forget about Charlie and Lynn. Not happening. But I thought that Guido could be flipped, but it doesn't look like that's the case. And I think, from a political standpoint, I believe it's a political decision that he's making, and I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. You're wrong. If you think the grassroots people are going to save you in the election, you're 100% wrong. But be that as it may, it's still Bill Carlson's vote to make, probably. That's where we're at. So, let's not send threatening messages to him. Let's not be mean. He's trying to help the Rays. He's trying to help the Rays and wants to be part of the negotiations. So it just legally, and the way things work and the way things are usually done, that the individual city council members are not part of the negotiation. The staff does that. The individual county commissioners are not part of the negotiations. They're not bitching. They just let their staff do the work and bring them the results and say, what do you think about this? Now, they can have their input, obviously. No, I don't like this. I'd rather it see this way. Okay, we'll go back to the Rays. But to have all the city council folks in the negotiations is just silly. It's silly. But I guess that's their big holdback. And we have Charlie Moran in the city council meeting waving his finger at Ken Babby. It's beyond craziness at some point. But cooler heads must prevail at this particular moment. We got to chill and not eviscerate the city council like many of us would like to do, and try to respect their authority. Respect my authority. To bring a little levity to this. Respect their authority and see if we can get this across the finish line. Again, we can do it without them, but it's much easier, and we can stay on the timeline with them. And that's where this ultimately needs to be. I'm going through my notes here just to reiterate. I think I've kind of encapsulated almost all of it. There's a lot of minutia in here that I don't really think we need to get into. But if you have questions, and I'm going to get to the comments right now, I'll be happy to entertain them. But again, I'm trying to be as true to my audience as I most possibly can. And if you guys, I want to get your comments out there, but let's try to be kind. I know it's not easy. a couple things have popped up here as well. And by the way, the Romano column where I read that quote from, it wasn't as dire as I thought it might be. But there's another, and I mentioned this, I'll reiterate it. There's another way to finance this through the TIF, which basically is a TIF tax. It's kind of a user fee. It's another way to structure the $100 million that the city is supposed to put in. The $80 million is probably going to be, the Rays are probably going to make that up in another, with more investment, as they've done, and push their side of this ledger to about 57, 58%. Of just the stadium. Let's not, and again, they produced all the renderings of the other stuff that's going to be there yesterday. It looks absolutely amazing. The 8 million square feet that they're going to build there, which is all, everything outside the stadium is all on them in terms of their investment, which is incredible to have any business come to your city and want to invest $8 billion in construction and eventually, essentially transforming a sea of asphalt and dilapidated buildings into great, usable, wonderful space, which would not be done without the Rays. You can't make this deal happen without having a Major League Baseball team. So if, the redevelopment of this property would never be possible if not for the Rays, just to remind the city council and anybody else that this is blighted property that has been an eyesore, Drew Park, forever. And here comes a savior with $8 billion, and this is the way we treat them. It's embarrassing. It's utterly embarrassing. And I'm sure there are city councils and governments in Raleigh, Durham, in Nashville, in Salt Lake City that are just laughing at this city council for being so narrow-minded. There are suitors. There are many. If you go see the Odyssey, it's like, here's the Rays or Penelope sitting in there weaving her shroud, and all these suitors are out in the halls just waiting to make until Odysseus comes home, right? Or doesn't come home. And they all just can't wait to get at the Rays. And there's
spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah. They're just waiting for the Rays to become free. And this is what our city council does. It's beyond bizarre what they did, but it is fixable. It is very fixable. And if we can get Bill Carlson, who just tweeted out a picture of him with Ken this morning. You can show it right there. There they are at the undisclosed location, which, by the way, one of my Petermans alerted me to. You guys are awesome. So I went, I was speaking with Ken this morning, texting with him. I'd say, tell Bill I said hi. He's got to be like, how the hell did you know I was having breakfast with Carlson? We know everything. Those valet guys, easily paid off. Bill Carlson tweeted out, said, representing the public means having tough conversations even when you disagree. Ken Babby, Ray's CEO, and I had a productive conversation this morning. He plans to meet with all city council members. The community is always better when we maintain a dialogue. That is 100% true. And the mayor tweeted out this: some city council members are clearly intent on killing the plan before negotiations are done and an agreement is ready for review. This defies common sense that they would prefer to have no say in the benefits. Yeah, we read this earlier. It's the same one. So here we are. It is still alive. A little bit of life support is needed. Maybe a couple chest compressions are going on right now. We haven't gone mouth to mouth just yet. We're not quite to that point, but some chest compressions are being done, and it can get done. I still believe it's going to get done. And I'll tell you this. I asked Ken flat out. I said, Ken, no bullshit. Ken Babby this morning. Is this going to get done? He's like, it's going to get done. We're going to move forward. It's going to get done. The Rays aren't going anywhere. It's just, this is all part of the political process. And I told you guys a few months ago when we started this, it was going to get ugly. I had no idea it would be this stupid, but I knew it would be ugly because you've got a lot of forces outside this marketplace in Orlando and Raleigh-Durham and all these other really, really well-funded places, billions of dollars. I mean, tens of billions of dollars are at stake here. These other places know that if this fails and they can get, access to a Major League Baseball team and an ownership group that wants to drop $8 billion into their city, it's exactly what we've seen the projections. The economic impact is from 55 to $80 billion with a B. This is no child's play. And yet we have people flexing their muscles because they feel like they're not being catered to and playing political games with this. Be that as it may, it's the world we live in. And as Carlson, he tweets that out. He's the guy. He wants to be the guy that is saying yes or no. And frankly, he is. He is. He's the guy. Can we get it done without city council? Yes, there is a pathway. But what you're doing, and this is something that all of you can understand. You're putting the Rays into free agency. If the city doesn't go along and figure this out, you're putting the Rays into free agency. You're opening it up for other teams and other places to come after your team. And if that happens, who knows? Who knows what happens? Who knows what the Rays will be offered? And I can tell you it's a hell of a lot more than they're asking from Tampa Bay. A hell of a lot more. Because these other places are smart. Raleigh-Durham is the research triangle. They're really smart people on that city council. Really smart. I don't know if I can say the same about ours. Some of them. Probably in Salt Lake, too. Definitely in Nashville. Those are really smart business people. They know what they're doing. So if you guys want to get on the phone, email, be nice. Be supportive, but be nice. Be nice. Say, hey, this is too big a deal to pass up. Please don't play politics with this. Because even if you play politics, you think you might know what your vote might bring you for your future. You think you might, but you don't know. So do the right thing and look at the deal based on what it is. And if you think it's still not good enough, I don't know how the hell you can come to that conclusion with all the studies that are out there, unless you just want to say every study is bullshit and stupid, which is really dumb to do. Those are smart people that put these studies out. They know what they're doing. They know what they know what the numbers look like. Don't just throw those studies away. There's 3 studies that have been done, independent studies paid by 3 different entities. They all reach the same conclusion. It's a no freaking brainer economically in terms of investment. If somebody came to you with a business deal like this and said, "Hey, I'm gonna triple, just up front, triple, quadruple your investment, but more than that, we're gonna be running a company that's gonna put $80 billion on the books for the next 30 years," you jump at that opportunity. You jump at it. And that's what the city council has to do. All right, Timmy, I'm going to open it up for back. Let's take a break, and we'll come back on the other side. This way I can review most of the different comments here. And
a lot of comments, man, obviously.
Yeah, so I want to, you guys are a huge part of this process. And in your comments, tell Ken Babby and Bill Carlson and everybody on the city council, because trust me, they're all watching. They're all watching. This is where they go to get what the people are thinking and feeling. And so we're going to give it to them. Big thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Genesis of Tampa, who presents our first hour, and Pitch Roofing, who prevents our first hour. Genesis of Tampa just had their valet service done the other day. Absolutely perfect. Chef's kiss. They're fantastic. They came to the studio, picked up the car, went and serviced the car, brought it back. I didn't even know it was gone. They do that with their valet service. It's awesome. And by the way, the process of getting the car, I got a GV70 2023. It was like freaking brand new. It runs perfectly. Technology is amazing. The comfort, the price, off the charts. Genesis of Tampa, the best product, the best deals, and really, really good people over there. All right, back in 3 with your comments. Stay with us. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by all these fine advertisers you see here: Riveters, Italiano, the Golden Diamond Source, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Kingmakers, Third Generation Plumbing, Cafe Paradiso, Genesis of Tampa, Pitch Roofing. All of you guys, thank you so much for being part of this show. All right, let's get right to the comments. And I think we had about 100 comments before the show even started. Want to say thank you to our newest member, Michael Ray. Thank you very much for joining us. You can always go to YouTube and support our independent journalism for what we're doing. We would really appreciate that so we could keep doing what we're doing. You can do that on YouTube. All right, let's get to it. Buck's Skull game came in early and was very despondent. I won't read all the other ones, but he said, hopefully there's not the news we're leaving Tampa. Not yet. We're not. That's not happening. Pooh Shiesty said, I think we should all join in with Tim to have a wake-up shot of Jaeger. Tim, it's Fireball this morning? Is that the...
It was Fireball this morning. Yeah, I'm out of Jaeger here at my home studio, so I had to go Fireball.
I think I might have gone Fireball today if I had some available. Alejandro says, yes, everyone, let's take a breather real quick and be positive because, again, the county commission was going to pay most of the money. We wanted the city involved, but now it's time to cut them out. Not just yet, Alejandro. It's going to be much easier, and the city should be involved, because I don't want to cut the city police and the city firefighters out of all the overtime they're going to get working the stadium and all the other community benefits that will be cut out. It would be ridiculous if the city weren't part of this, and it's possible to do it. That is absolutely possible. They can go around them, but we would rather them be part of it and get the deal done on time. I have a lot of people saying, Rodney says, let's do it without the city. We got a lot of that coming in. I can't even read them all. Alex Nunn, we love your brother, but your pessimism is not welcome. Said the Rays are doomed in Tampa Bay. Shit is dead. Nope, that is not the case. Douglas Batista says, another one of our members says, JP, appreciate your reporting on the stadium. This is very important to many of us and appreciate having this forum to discuss. Absolutely. That's why we're here. What else we got going? KC Eagles says this shit show early. Nice. We got lots to talk about. Yes, we do. Steven 92506 says, I believe the city council members are colluding with Orlando and their emails, bank accounts, texts, and calls need to be investigated. All right. I've kind of tongue-in-cheek said that, where's this coming from? Seriously, I think there's opposition funding. I don't think it's coming from the Orlando Dreamers or anybody from the city over there. I think it's just more political in nature of people that just don't want public money spent with private companies, whatever it might be, which I think is ridiculously short-sighted. Douglas Batista also says, I appreciate Mayor Castor's tweets about her frustration. However, not sure that helps getting the buy-in of the city council. I would think that she should be meeting with them to get this done. I think all that's been done, to be quite honest. I think there's been a lot of kowtowing to the council, but it's not enough. Clearly, they want more. But yeah, the friction, and this is where it gets really, really bothersome to the fans. Because, folks, this is what happens in politics. Certain politicians that may be running for mayor don't want other politicians to get credit for the Rays being here. So it's like in politics, if your opponent gets the credit, that screws you over, even if it's what's best for the people. This is where my frustration really comes in. None of that should be part of this. You should be looking at it based on the merits of the deal, not who gets credit for it. We'll figure that out later. But for God's sakes, if it's something else, I get it. This is way too important. We're talking about 12,000 jobs. We're talking about millions of people in there that we've built up this fan base here in Tampa Bay that are emotionally attached to the Rays. And you're just going to let them walk out the door because you're trying to figure out who's going to get credit? Come on now. Man.
That sounds like a very common occurrence, though, in especially local politics, right? That's what it's all about for these guys. They know their terms are short, and they got to have something
to go to the voters with. Got to have talk. Man. Alex from Florida says Tampa City Council is an absolute joke. I wish I lived in the city so I could vote all of them out. There's plenty of that. Don't worry. It'll be taken care of. Blue Shiesty says, at least we have Bucks training camp to look forward to. Fire the Cannons. We'll get to the Bucks a little later on. Maybe.
Positivity right there for you.
Yeah. Casey Eagle says, let's have another open house session with the council. Fuck this shit. Cannot lose this team. Listen, I've been telling the Petermans, because last night they're like, hey, do we need to show up at the city council? I'm like, nah, we're good. This is just a procedural vote. They're absolutely, the law says they shall do this, and they did not. They defied it. They defied convention, and they went rogue. That's what they did. And yeah, there are remedies for that. But the remedy I'd rather be Bill Carlson bringing it back up, putting it back on the agenda, and them doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And we'll give them all the credit. That's great. Fine. You get the credit. Nate says it sounds like the city is kicking the Rays out of town. There's no question to me that there's 3 council members that are trying to tank this deal. And if they're trying to tank it because they think if they do this, the Bucks will leave town, that's ridiculous. The Bucks aren't going anywhere. If you're trying to protect the Bucks in this deal, you think that if this deal goes through, the Bucks are gone. That's just ridiculous. Or if some way you want to show support for the Bucks, again, this is way too important. There's enough money to keep them both here. We're not freaking Ocala, even though we're acting like it on the city side. Carl says, glad to tune in. JP, thanks for your dedication to this. Absolutely. Joe Dombrowski says, extremely irresponsible. Go Millionaire says, city loses on this. LOL, not the Rays in the end. Not smart being petty. Rick says, Miranda didn't get his telegram on time. Yeah, I think his Morse code is just not working. Pooh Shiesty says, Charlie Miranda is still waiting for the Pony Express. He's down at the docks waiting for Teddy Roosevelt to come back. Kurt says the majority of the commissions are flat out fools. City charter says council isn't involved in negotiations, but they still want to be wined and dined. Egocentric political theater. This is what the people are saying. Again, let's try to be nice. For now. And the Major League Baseball commissioner, can he get involved? Oh, he's involved. Trust me, he's very much involved. He's watching everything. He's watching every little thing, probably watching this show. Hello, Commissioner.
Hi, Rob.
We appreciate all you've done for Tampa Bay and getting this on the right track. We're still close. I apologize for some of the hayseeds here, but we're going to get it done, and we'll try to be better in the future.
Please return my phone call.
You're welcome to come on the show anytime, by the way. But seriously, Rob Manfred deserves a huge pat on the back from all Rays fans and anybody in Tampa Bay that wants to see the Rays here. Without him, they would already be gone. Trust me. He is committed to Tampa Bay, and I wish we could repay it with something a little smoother process than this. I mean, you look around Kansas City, everywhere else, these city councils, and it gets done like that. Arlington, Timmy will tell you. It's just they understand how important this is and the economics of it. And we've got people that just don't get it. And it's, looking.
The city of Plano approved $850 million for an arena for the Stars in less than 48 hours.
City of what?
Plano.
Not Dallas. Not Houston. Not San Antonio. Plano.
2 days. It took 2 days.
Kurt Thorson said, and I see no evidence that Guido is swayable. He is quiet for each discussion and just votes against it. Yeah, he's trying to keep his head down under the fire. I think it's a really bad strategy, but you do you. Go Millionaire says the 4 who voted no on this are getting voted out, 2 of which are running for mayor as well, will also be voted against. Yeah, but I'll tell you this, they feel that the grassroots people will save them. And the majority of people don't turn out for these elections. It's a very low turnout because usually there's nothing really at stake. And now there is, and it's very public. If I were advising them politically, I would be advising them to vote for it. But they see otherwise, I think is very, very foolhardy. But I could be wrong. I think I have a pretty good read on the city here and the electorate, and I think it's because of all the Petermans that are involved here. We get a very good feeling of what's going on out there.
Your spy network.
Yes. Joe does not want to hold his powder. Says, screw that. This is intolerable.
I mean, we can't control what you do. We're just imploring you to please don't choose violence.
No, absolutely. I said no. We don't even need to joke about that. But because of the world we live in, unfortunately, Timmy, we can't even joke about that. That's not where
I was going, but yeah, I understand.
We're trying to calm the waters here today, turn the temperature down, and just we're still in the process. This is still process, and there's still time to get this right. And Carlson could be the person that brings it up and gets it back on the ballot or the discussion for next week, and make the vote, the transfer to Tallahassee like it was supposed to be done last night. That's still very, very doable. So we have to show some emotional intelligence in here, turn the temperature down, and just implore them in the nicest way that we can. Send flowers to Mr. Carlson and say, please do the right thing. Evan, TPS says Carlson is the one who stopped it also. So for him to turn around the next morning and meet Babby, come on. See what you're saying. Yep, absolutely. But he did. He's trying to help. The baseball commissioner is involved. Evan asked, how does Carlson sign the non-binding MOU and then say no to this, then say yes to breakfast with Babby the next day? I would say he's just trying to get his questions answered. And hopefully that happened this morning. And everybody's moving forward. We'll find out in the coming days. Again, if this does go south and it's the city's fault, there's still time to save it. There'll be plenty of time for scorched earth. But at this particular time, let's turn the temperature down. Let's get everybody's questions answered. Again, the process, the sausage being made is ugly. And this is you're looking at it. So let's just calm down. I had a nice piece of sausage this morning for breakfast. It was beautiful. It tasted fantastic. I didn't want to think about how it was made, but it went down great. So let's keep that in mind. Pooh Shiesty says the telephone works both ways. If council has questions, the Rays have gone out of their way to be helpful. Yeah. You could have showed up at one of the 75,000 presentations that Ken Babby did to every Rotary club, social club, garden club in town. It's coming to the Tampa Sports Club, by the way. Appreciate that, Ken. Yeah, there's been, if you don't know what's going on with this deal or have questions, it's on you, because especially if you're on the city council. Yeah. Anyway, Rick says, well, Charlie needs the spoon feeding. His wooden teeth are gone. He needs his fiber oatmeal. Come on, guys. Stop that. You're terrible. Douglas Neil Kelleher is new in here. Said, JP, you had characterized this as a done deal. What went wrong? Does this get done or not? I don't think I've said done deal. Maybe I have. Maybe I've slipped in my enthusiasm. I said I've never been more confident. That's been my phrasing. I've never been more confident. And then I've said it's never done until it's done, but I've never been more confident. And I'm still confident it's going to get done. Everyone I spoke to, the last thing I asked them was, no bullshit. Is this thing going to get done? And everybody said, yes, it's going to get done. But how it gets done and being confident doesn't mean a done deal. It means we're really, really confident. But we're also trying to expose how this is being done, the way it's being done, and more than anything, we're trying to help get the deal done. So we make no bones about it. I mean, there's no objectivity on this when it comes to, well, there's objectivity when I looked at the deal. I told you guys, when we looked at the deal and saw the numbers, I would let you know how I feel about the deal. I mean, conceptually, I was always for the stadium being in Tampa. That's what we championed it, because it's the right thing to do. It's best for the Rays. It's how we become a big league player with revenues and get this done, just like the Braves did. That's always been my reason for doing this. Not because I'm paid by the Rays, not because I love Ken Babby, although I do. It's because it's the best thing for Tampa Bay and the Rays. So we make no bones about that. But I objectively looked at the deal and went, "Wow, this is way better than I ever thought." First, with like everybody else, there was sticker shock with the price, but then you realize the price on everything's gone up. And, the 1.3 billion it took to build a stadium 3 or 4 years ago is now $2 billion, especially when you're doing it the right way, not like that thing that the Rays were going to build in St. Pete, that little pavilion. That was, half-assed as usual. This is a real stadium, and this is what it costs. Pavilion. Yeah, and the way they're going about the deal and how much money they're putting in, $8 to $10 billion, and everything we get back, the way they structured the deal with the community benefits and no harm and not raising new taxes, not using property taxes. It's the best deal. Anybody who looked at this deal that's in government were like, yeah, this is really good. This is very fair. It's very fair to all sides. It's a lot of money, but the payback is there. No question about it. So that's why we are very much for it. But objectively, I looked at the deal. We looked at the one in St. Pete and said, that's a boondoggle. It's a boondoggle. And the difference being that the land there was worth so much money. The land here is basically worthless. Nobody's developed it for 25 years. There's a reason for that. Because you need an anchor tenant like the Rays in order to make the damn thing work. Alex from Florida says, do we need to threaten their jobs? The level of incompetence is insane.
Yeah.
Not at this point. Not at this point. That's what I'm trying to stress to you guys today. Not at this point. There will be time for that. If they follow through with all these threats and play politics with this, there will be a time for that, for scorched earth. That time is not now. We need to turn the temperature down, support Bill Carlson in his quest here to get all of to be part of the negotiations as best we can make that and get that vote. Ray Kennedy asks, wait, are you saying Carlson is playing politics or going to lose his job because he's not? I think it's all political theater at this point on the city council. And that's abhorrent to me. But it is what it is. And I'm pragmatic about it. And so if it's, if Bill Carlson is going to be the swing vote, then let's cozy on up and see what we got to do. Simple as that. Evan PA 813 says Carlson and Hurtak are the biggest frauds in Tampa council history. Miranda's just a dinosaur who has no reason to be in office. That's their words, not mine. I'm going to put it up here because we're being transparent. But Alex says, JP, stop trying to feed us with bullshit. That's not going to happen. Effing stop. Fucking stop. Listen, Alex, I'm not, don't accuse me of bullshitting my people. I'm not doing that. I think that's rude. If you have an opinion that you don't think it's going to get done, that's fine. But don't tell people I'm bullshitting them. I love you, Alex, but that's not cool. I'm not bullshitting anybody. I'm keeping it real.
What would be the point of that?
Yeah, at this point, really? Come on now. If you don't think it's going to happen, and I know you've been negative about it, that's fine. That's your opinion. And I put it up here. And that's fine. But accusing me of bullshitting my audience is not cool. All right. Joe Dabrowski says, it's hard to believe and see how the mayor and the council be so opposite. Yeah, guys, this is it's just part of politics that we don't understand, right? The way the city is set up, it's like the council and the mayor checks and balances, right? But there's no question that there's a lot of personal animus, which again should not be part of politics.
It's the president of the United States and Congress on a smaller scale. It's exactly the same premise,
right? So it's it should not be playing politics with this, and because you hate the mayor and the mayor is for it. That's no reason. That's not why you should be voting for this or not voting for it. That's just not right. You're playing games with people's livelihoods here. It's the biggest deal in city history, and we're going to play petty politics? Come on now. This one from Ray Kennedy says, so we tell Carlson to dig into the facts when he actually said at the meeting in June, nobody is telling him shit. That's why he treated his no vote the next time if he hadn't been read in. Yeah, again, I think a lot of this saying that they haven't been consulted or they're not part of the negotiating process, I think that's bullshit. I think they're trying to blame somebody else for them making a political decision. That's my personal opinion. To say that you don't have the information or are not part of the process the way you want it to be, listen, first of all, it's codified how the process works. And if you need to be part of the process, Ken Babby has been there and available. And I know he's met with all of them. So again, Bill Carlson says, hey, can we have a meeting? The next morning they're having breakfast. So if Lynn or Guido or Charlie need to be part of the process, Ken Babby and the Rays aren't the reason you're not part of the process. And if you're mad at the mayor or city staff, don't take it out on the rest of us. Please. Do your job. Evan says Babby definitely covered the bill this morning. I'm not sure how that works. What else we got here? Timmy, if you see something that is pertinent, go ahead, because there's so many I'm trying to get through here at this point. Danny Boy says, bottom line, this is going to get done. Joe Dombrowski says it's not dead. You hear what JP is saying? Give it a chance. Yes. American Business First U.S. says, this is a negotiation. 2 of the no votes said that they were mad that the Rays have been negotiating through the mayor's office and not directly with them. Grow up, city council, bypass the CRA, and cut the city out of it. It's an option. It's an option, but it's an option I'm told is clunky. It's clunky and worrisome. And it's just hard to build a project of this scope and size and not have the city be a part of it. With infrastructure and traffic and all the different bodies that are involved here, you want everybody working on the same page. And I tell you what, if it happens, if they bypass the city and all the policemen and firemen and other entities that would be able to get overtime and work here, boy, that's going to be a really sour pill for them to swallow and cause a lot of dissension within the city. That is not something you want. As a mayor moving forward, that is not something you want. So let's let cooler heads prevail here.
JP, address this real quick from where'd it go? Our buddy KCA Eagles. If it gets moved to 2030, is it that big of a deal? It seems like they're pushing the 28 deadline so much. Please explain why.
Yeah, and Alex Nunn also says this as well. He said, problem is the Rays are fucking rushing it way too fast. They've got to slow it down. I understand this criticism. I totally do. I get it. But I also understand where the Rays are coming from. And when you have something like this that is so big, and it involves the state funding for Hillsborough College, okay? You're going to have a brand new council in March, by the way, okay? Which I think is going to be much more favorable to getting this done. But it throws the whole timeline off. Construction, there's a lot of construction going on in the state of Florida, major construction, the Miami airport, Jacksonville port, $60 billion that Disney's doing. I mean, all across the state, these major construction companies are being scooped up. Construction products are being scooped. These things are long-term. You got to plan them out. And the Rays are already planning it. They're already in discussions to find their contractor. And all this stuff is already demolition. All this stuff has already been set in motion for the most part. And so the timeline really, really freaking matters. And then because if we slow it down, then we got to go back to the state, and there's going to be a new legislature. There's going to be a new governor. Okay. So there's a lot of politics that's being played with this, and we're this close to getting everything done. At this point, we just need one more vote on the city council, and the road just becomes really well paved. So Alex, I get your point, but if you slow it down, this is where you get in trouble with the Rays reaching free agency. You don't want the Rays to reach free agency. If we slow this down, the other suitors are coming in, man, and they're coming heavy. They're coming heavy.
With way better deals.
With way better deals. Do you want to risk that? Do you want to risk that? No, you don't. You do not. Listen, the Rays have been good stewards so far. And I asked Ken that this morning. He's like, no, it's Tampa. We're Tampa Bay. It's Tampa Bay. It's Tampa Bay. We are fixed on this market. I'm not even talking. We don't even think about it. We don't talk to them. This is the market. Major League Baseball, we are all in lockstep. We want Tampa Bay. We want this deal. This is it. And if you put it off, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's coming down the road. So I don't think 9 months is rushing it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tim. How long did it take to get a deal in Plano?
48 hours.
Okay. Kansas City? A month.
Oh, it was a month, yeah.
Yeah, or less. Why do we need 9 months? Why do we need a year and two? Why do we need 2 years? You're saying, how much longer do we need, Alex? A year and a half, 2 years? What do we need? You know, when you have bodies that want to do something together, you make a framework agreement, and then there's going to be a lot of moving parts. You figure it out as you go. But get the deal done. And if there are problems down the road, you have two entities that are fair-minded. If you were going into this deal with the former regime, I would say no. You got to make sure everything, and you got to have everything, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed anyway. But even with that, you want to trust the partner you're with. And that's why those deals never got done. This is different. This is way different. So, Alex, I understand your concerns, but there's a reason that it needs to get done now. Because if the Rays go to free agency and you put this out there, you're screwed. Sorry.
Go ahead.
This one from Brandon G 513 says, correct, JP. The county couldn't create a TIF over the Drew Park CRA. The city would have to vote to redraw the boundaries of that or abandon it. The city would still have to vote on items with the deal. That's true. That's what I've been told. Now, again, there's a way to get around the city, but not to do the whole deal, not to do the whole 8 million square foot build out. You could do a stadium and hotel, HCC, but that if you don't have the whole thing working together, you don't get the full community benefits. The money doesn't come back to the taxpayer as much. That's why they got to get the whole deal done. Understand?
You have a super chat here if you want it.
Yes, absolutely.
Jimmy J. Voyager.
Jimmy J, thank you for the $19.99. That's $20 super chat. Listen, I'm a progressive Democrat, but this is now just getting stupid, making liberals look dumb. Pass the damn deal. If it's a great deal for all parties and taxpayers and anybody who votes, so no need to lose their jobs, period. Yeah, I don't want anybody losing their jobs, but don't play. If you play politics with this thing, then you deserve to lose your job. And again, if you just don't agree with the deal, I get that, but that's not what's going on here. It's not. I'm just calling bullshit on that. Pooh Shiesty says, I cannot believe I agree with Jane Castor on something, but here we are. I think there's a few people feeling that way these days. I mean, seriously, we've said this. If the mayor is on board for this, and she was very much, I want to say, against the previous regime, but she understood who she was working with. If she is for this, who could be against it? This is not something. I mean, I thought going into this process, she's going to be a tough nut to crack here. No, she was all in from the beginning because she understood the deal. Michael LaRue says, just do the deal without the city. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but cut them out of as many benefits as possible and move on. Whatever it costs, it's still cheaper than paying a $1 billion relocation fee. Yeah, I get that. But again, I don't need to get into the minutia, Michael, but it's going to be a lot better. The timeline will work a lot better. The city will work better if the city is involved. And there's still time to make that happen. Carlson can make that happen. Send flowers to Carlson. Chocolates, flowers, beer. I don't.
Y'all have tips, treats,
whatever. Send him a case of hazy IPA or a keg from of Riveters.
Riveters gift cards are always nice.
Yes, they are. I'm sure he would love a Reuben and a hazy
IPA gift card.
Michael LaRue says the MLB might waive that fee for a move to Orlando, but if it can't provide the financial support or fan base that Hillsborough County already can't. Listen, it's not about Orlando. And that's just, I hear people talking about it. Major League Baseball is not interested in Orlando. They're not. They're not going to get an expansion team, and they don't want the Rays to move there. Now, if we just can't get our shit together at all, if that's the last resort, they'll do it. But at this point, no.
JP, Kurt Thorson asks you a question. When you saw the Odyssey, did you happen to see Miranda's role, that old blind man who cared for goats all day in ancient Greece?
There was a strong resemblance. There really was.
And then aviation's trolling, apparently. The Orlando Devil Rays is what he's throwing out there.
Orlando Devils. Yeah.
Another super chat if you want it.
Yes, absolutely.
From our buddy Alex Nunn.
JP, no hard feelings, but 20 years of this shit. End of the day, 20 years, everyone said come to Tampa. They're here. What's the issue, especially if it's only over 80 million? I get it. I get it, man. I get it. I didn't anticipate us being this stupid. I knew it would be politically tough in some ways, but I didn't feel like, this is, and when I saw the deal, I was like, okay, we're fine. The Rays, I expected this an ownership group to do. They're bending over backwards to make this, protect the taxpayer, make this a fair deal. This is great. We're moving forward. It's fantastic. This is going to pass. And, the only thing that could hold it up is stupidity or politics. And now we've got a little bit of both. But again, surmountable. The deal is not dead. The deal is not dead. It's very much alive. But, I don't want to, build complacency into this at all. We got to be on our toes. And yeah, if we all need to show up at the city council next week, I'll tell you to be there. And we'll be there. And in fact, that might be something we need to do moving forward. To send a signal to Guido and everybody else that not only the masses, but the grassroots are here. And we want to get this deal done for the people in the city, in the region of Tampa Bay.
Nathan Elliott. Oh, go ahead.
Bush Icy says, if we can get this done, the Rays are going to North Carolina. If we can't get this done, they're handling their situation a lot classier than the Dreamers in Orlando. That is true. That is 100% true.
Nathan had maybe the most astute observation of the day. The Rays want Tampa, but it looks like Tampa does not want the Rays.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong, Nathan. No.
At least the city council doesn't want the Rays.
No, a faction of the city council. There are
the
three
majority right now, right?
That's right. That's right. And it's not that they don't want the Rays. They want to get credit
for keeping
somebody else not get credit.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here. It's not about, listen, the polls are out there. Heavy, the public 65-35, 60-40 wants the Rays in Tampa. That's what the polling tells us. So Tampa wants it. The majority of people want it. But we're playing politics. That's what's going on. Kurt Thorson says, I watched the CRA board yesterday and city council board yesterday. They appear hell-bent on regressing Tampa, singing karaoke instead. Utter fools, making Dallas and Chicago look like Einstein. Yeah. Yeah. Alex Nunn says, Carlson is trying to help. He wouldn't have helped. He would have voted no. Not stop being a clown, JP. All right. I'm done with you, Alex. I mean, you're smart enough to understand how politics works. He's manipulating the votes. Do you not see this? But I'll put your stuff up. Hertek, I don't want any part of the stadium. Also, Hertek, I demand they call me and include me in discussions. What? Yeah, right? Evan says, Hertek's mad her husband is in jail. Is he still in jail?
I think so.
I know the FBI came to the house a couple times, allegedly, reportedly. Nathan says, leave the city out of the freaking deal. I told you guys, we can, but it's not. We could do that, but it would risk the Rays going to free agency. And I'm not willing to risk that. No. Joe Dabrowski says, almost a butt of Foghorn Leghorn will respect. I say respect my authority. That's what he says. And I think that's what we're being told by some of the city council. Evan TPA says Babby is trying harder than any council member, yet they still want to pout about little things. This is what the people are saying. What else we got here? I'm going through these as we go. What was your sense on how the breakfast went? I think it went well. I know it went well. Mm-hmm. So Carlson is there to be had. He's there to be had. And I just pretty much believe, I just believe that they're playing politics, and it's a matter of if he wants to be the guy that casts the deciding vote and feel it out. I think that's the way this is going to go. So let's make him listen. If you want the stadium to get passed, let him know, but be nice about it. Be very nice about it. Don't threaten his job. Just say, please, Bill, please, please, please make this happen. You're our last hope. Oh, the lovely Ashley is in this morning. Says, I guess most of those men on City have more junk in their personality than their pants. Oh, honey, you're the best. Danny Boy says, we thank you for the authenticity, JP, for everything. Yes, let's get this done. All right, one more before the break. Olin Doyle Hill, you're new in here. Go Bolts. It's apparent that the city, 2 to 4 opposing city council persons, will not contribute 1 penny towards the project. If the county agrees to create a TIF district to make up much of the city's previously anticipated contribution, how long of a delay will that cause? 2, 4, 6 months? Also, will that delay the opening of the date of the stadium? Yes, it will delay the opening of the stadium. And again, I think it's a possibility that the Rays could start looking elsewhere if we are delayed like this. And I think if we do not get this deal done now, the suitors will come after him, guns a-blazing. So that's why I think it's absolutely important to get it done now. All right, let's take a break. We'll get back to your comments. I also want to get to the Bucs a little bit. We have promised a defensive line preview today, so we will do that at some point. And we'll talk about the Rays as well. Lost yesterday, kind of icky loss yesterday, but they got their home. So let's welcome them home with a big homestand this weekend. Hey, we're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's Christmas in July. What does that mean? It means everything is on sale. And also, it's always a great time to just go over there. In July, every Christmas, everything gets, there's thousands of people running around. Everything's crowded, right, buying stuff. Now's a good time to go. It's Christmas in July. So they got great stuff on sales. You can see the 5, 10, 20-carat diamonds that they have. The Jalib collection, the Madero collection are exclusive only to the Gold and Diamond Source. So very rare to see the pieces over there for that. So if you're into jewelry, and who's not, right? Head on over there. Check out all the great watches they have on sale as well for you guys. They got an expanded men's section at the Gold and Diamond Source. So get on over. It's Christmas in July at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Back in 3.
Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our Fanstream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now.
Back to the show on Fanstream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, soon to be AJ Gallagher Insurance. But you're going to get the same great customer service you've been getting for over 60 years from Italiano Insurance. That doesn't change, but you get more options, which will save you more money. And that's what it's all about, getting great insurance and saving money. You do all the work, you get all the savings. That's ItalianoInsurance.com, 813-877-7799. All right, we're going to continue with comments here because I think this is the biggest story in the history of Tampa Bay. You guys need your say. We're going to hash out a lot of stuff here. We're going to put up the negative stuff as well.
Is this bigger than the announcement that that Tampa Bay was getting an expansion NFL team?
That's a great question.
I mean, that's pretty
Something
big.
of that is something of that seismic. You know, that changes the entire fortunes of the city of Tampa. You know,
And it probably helped the Rays arrive in Tampa Bay.
of course, no,
Honestly,
absolutely,
yeah.
no. Having an NFL team made this a big league town. I mean, Tampa's a very sleepy St. Petersburg retirement community. You know, they were very small, and because of the geography, though, they were destined to be a big player, right? The Bay Area, it's beautiful, lots of water here. People, built, and then we built a state-of-the-art airport, and things got bigger. And all these things are part of growing the right way, right? And this is the next step in that. I think it's maybe 1A. One is the NFL awarding us a franchise, building of Raymond James Stadium for $180 million, which of course the Bucs didn't pay anything for. And I think a lot of city council members, and Charlie has said this, that we'll never do a deal. They hate all professional teams, even though 160, 80 million that we used to build Raymond James Stadium, we have 3 Super Bowls and an NFL team. It's the greatest expenditure of public money we've ever made. And people still bitch about it. You bitch about it because the Glazers didn't pay anything, the Glazers didn't pay anything for the new stadium. I get that. But did it work out? Yeah, of course it did. It's really good for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. Why do you get mad at that? And that's what this is. Yeah, are the Rays going to make money? Yes. Is the city and the county going to make money? Yes. Are there going to be 12,000 jobs? Yes. Which is why I want to answer this from Pete Bolin, who's long been a critic of this deal, and Mr. St. Pete. Says, JP, the development is still all theoretical until they have concrete plans. What does that even mean? It's not theoretical. They're building the mixed-use project around this. That's part of the deal. That's going to be codified. Don't pretend like it's not. It is. And you know that. And you keep spouting lies. But I'll read this. And stop saying 55 billion returns on investment. That's, again, highly speculative. Really, Pete? Where's your study? You keep saying it's highly speculative. Really? Because I see 3 studies done by companies that do these studies all around the world, and the funding for these humongous projects are based on these studies. These are not fly-by-night operations that just, they paid for the study, let me throw it out there. The TSA paid for it. Okay, that's not the Rays. The county paid for one, and they both said the same thing. Yes, the Rays paid for one as well. But what about the other 2 studies that they did? And they spent a lot of money on it. How do you define highly speculative? Where's your study? If you're going to say it's highly speculative, show me your study that says it's not going to get done. Because common sense tells me, Pete, that if you build 8 million square feet of property that's taxable, you get money back for that, where there's concrete now. And it hasn't been developed for 25 years. But yet you want to impugn some type of value to property that hasn't been developed in 25 years in the middle of Tampa, where they're looking for scraps of property to develop every single thing. And it would never have gotten done without the Rays bringing an anchor tenant like this in. That's why you give them public money. That's why it's smart. So I'll continue with your silliness here. You say, also, let's say the end around works in Hillsborough County covers it all. What then happens to the Bucs? Where does the money come from? CIT. There's $3.5 billion in the CIT over the next 15 years. If you extend it, it goes to 7 or 8 over 35 years, which is the length of what you do for a stadium. That's where the money comes from. It's $500 million. That's where the Bucs money, and it's already been set aside. Next question. You keep talking about this stuff on Facebook and throwing your lies out there and tainting the whole discussion. I'll take it down one by one. And he continues, and these other places that you speak of, you really think they would give a $1 billion subsidy and $600+ million for free public land? Eek. Glad you're not an elected office anywhere. What are you doing with the land? It's been asphalt for 25 years, bro. You want to be like others and say it's worth $700 million? You're a fool, and you know it. If it's worth that much money, how come nobody's built on it for 25 years? You can't relocate a college unless you got money coming in from other sources. Oh, I don't know, like a building and entertainment district like the Battery that's going to bring in 9 million people a year. That's highly speculative. It's happening in Atlanta. I can see it with my own eyes. It's happening in Arlington, Texas. It's going to happen in Kansas City. They're spending the money. These other places, the North Carolina legislature's already approving the money. And Orlando's talking about doing the same thing. They didn't have a hard time raising the money in Plano. Is that highly speculative? Because all these things are getting done, Pete. Is that highly speculative? You're full of shit. And everything you post on Facebook is full of shit too. You have an agenda. You're still butthurt it's not in St. Pete, and it's never going to be in St. Pete. Listen to your mayor. He's moved on. You should too. How's that? Been waiting to do that a long time. Kurt says, council is 7-0 Democratic. Commission is 5-2 GOP to Dems. Officials who identify with both parties are being astronomically difficult. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading some of these. Why is the font smaller now, Timmy, on my screen? I don't know.
I'll probably fix it. I'm trying to make everything fit, but sometimes it doesn't all fit. So when we get these long comments.
I'm blind.
Yeah, hang on.
Wayne Cleveland says the Rays are not the greedy ones. They're investing more than half the cost of the stadium that they won't even own. Yeah, I mean, they're going to end up paying probably 58% of the stadium cost, plus cost overruns, plus capital improvements, plus operating expenses. I can tell you this, and I'm not trying to dump on the Bucks, but the Bucks don't pay any of that or paid any of that. This is the biggest expenditure by a public or by a private company into a stadium in history. And yet people like Pete Bolin want to act like the Rays are trying to pull some fast one. It's ridiculous. On its face, it's ridiculous. Every one of your opinions or your arguments debunked. Danny Boy says scale of where did I go? On a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 6 right now. Somebody asked me where I'm at. I'm at an 8 that it gets done. Yeah, I'm still at an 8. It's going to be a lot easier with the city. And I still think that's possible. I still think that's very possible. I think at some point how good this deal is, it's the truth. At some point that comes through and it wins the day. That's my opinion. Alex says greedy is rushing shit, putting a timetable in the moment they got here. Listen, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for it, Alex. I understand that argument. That argument is one of the better ones. But I think the counter argument is true. That, in this, you have this much money at stake and this many moving parts. You want to get it. You want to put it on it. Listen, if I'm Rays, I would have done the same thing. If you let government work their timeline, Alex, it'll take 10 years. Why does it not take as long in these other places? Let me ask you that. What is your answer to that? I don't think it needs to be any longer than it has been. I think all the questions have been answered. Pete Bolin continues. That's why it's silly for the team to pretend that this is a huge state of emergency, especially when smart money says we have an extended work stoppage next year. The work stoppage, I don't see how what that matters, really, honestly. If anything else, it should speed up the timeline because you're not getting the expected revenue. And you can't just keep extending. Every day that goes by costs the Rays more money. You act like, and again, why do you need more time? Give me the concrete reason? Because you just need more time to do what? To get to another, we'll have another election and another council and another this and another that. Give me a concrete reason why you need more time. They're getting the documents done. The documents are getting done. I think they're almost all done. Why do you need more time? For what? To consider what? The tax situation? Again, if either way that goes, this deal still makes sense. And if people approve the taxes, you're going to be looking for vehicles to invest in to create more revenue. If the property taxes go away and that revenue to the county go away, you're not going to be able to make up the shortfall by just pinching pennies. You got to find a revenue generator that's going to bring more tourist money to town. And here it is in your lap. That's my argument to slowing down. Why do you need to slow down? Why? Other places get it done quickly, as it should be, because it's a great deal. Andrew Katzman, by the way, said, bottom line is he was very nice and respectful of me, which I appreciated. I wasn't sure if he'd respond. This is people emailing Bill Carlson. And as far as I've had a lot of people tell me that Bill Carlson answers almost every email if you're respectful. So just be respectful and email him and tell him, how much you want to get it done. Danny Boy says the same thing. He said, I've emailed Carlson before and I commended him for the job he did on this and continues to do. That's where we need to be at, guys. That's where we at this particular point. Wayne Cleveland says there's a timetable to get it done. The longer the wait, the more the project costs. Yeah, and the bigger opportunity they have to get other options. What else we got here? This is from Airweed. Morning to you. It says Mayor Castro has to stay positive in this and not piss off the city council. That's the last thing we need at this moment. Well, I think we've passed that river. I'm going to try to get some new voices in here. Alan Scott saying the obvious. I'm exhausted by this. 20 effing years of this crap. I know. 20 years it's taken. Well, and to be fair, we had an owner for a long time that was just trying to play out the string, had no interest in building a stadium. That was all just bullshit. And that was the problem. It's just, this should have been done years ago. Kurt Thorson says, Hertak saying your emergency is not my emergency. This is a waste of time. Hertak 13% polling for mayoral race. Buckhorn at 49%. Yeah, this is the other thing about it. You want to set yourself. I mean, do you look at the numbers, Lynn? You ain't winning. You're not going to be mayor. Just do the right thing. Maybe if you do the right thing, your numbers will come up. Ever think of that? Your strategy is clearly not working. Perhaps you should shift course and become the hero. Because you had an opportunity to. Don't let Carlson beat you to it. One of you can be the hero here. I don't care which one, to be quite honest. I don't care which one. But one of you is going to be the hero or has an opportunity to be the hero. I'm no political analyst, Timmy, but
you don't have to be for this.
If I were advising you, I'd say I'd rather be the one that kept the race here than let them leave for Orlando. I'm no David Axelrod, but I'm just saying that might be a better strategy if you're polling at 13%.
JP, when we built the American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas, it opened in the year 2000. We had a mayor in Dallas that was against it 100%. Very publicly outspoken. Of course, this was before, social media and all that. Very outspoken. Every article, that interview she would do, TV, newspaper, what have you, she was against it. She didn't like the money. She didn't think it was necessary in Dallas. Now, keep in mind, it was replacing an arena that was already in downtown Dallas. The thing passed, much to her dismay, and then she was outspoken against it afterwards. I think her term ended the following year. Guess what? She's not mayor anymore.
Shocking development.
Shocking development. It cost her political career. And she's still a laughingstock in the city of Dallas. Her name still comes up as a laughingstock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what's on the line for all of you city council members. If that's what you want your legacy to be, more power to you. Then you know how to accomplish that. But
yeah, listen, I'm not threatening anybody's job. I'm just trying to help you. a lot of times, and I've said this, I've been in this market for 30 years, and I've seen a lot of council people come and go, mayors come and go, and a lot of city politics is very much under the radar. 80% of the people don't really care unless something really terrible happens when everything floods and nothing is draining, everybody gets pissed off. And it all comes to a forefront. Or you have something like this. This is very public. And then everybody suddenly then everybody knows who's on the city council. It just reminds me of this argument, Timmy. If you worked in a newsroom as a sports reporter, you were told from the day you were there that nobody gives a shit about sports. And that's why you get 3 minutes, or at the end of my, TV career, you get a minute 30. And it's, they always said that. It's like, nobody gives a shit about sports. We got, there's a pipe that just broke over, on Davis Island. That's going to lead the news today. A cat fell out of a tree. That's way more important than Tom Brady coming to Tampa Bay. This is how they think. And I think this is how a lot of politicians think. Nobody gives a shit about sports. Nobody cares about the Rays because a lot of them live in I don't want to play politics, but it's kind of a liberal bubble that all these other things matter more. So I'm sitting in the office this is the year 2000 story that went national, and Tiger Woods is setting the record at Pebble Beach, and he's lining up a putt to set the record for a 15-shot win. And our assistant news director at the time at Channel 8 decides that it's time to break in with a water spout picture in the bay. It's a weather emergency. That's the other channel had 20 minutes earlier. So she's trying to play catch up and get our picture of a water spout in the bay. So she breaks in with the Mace Michaels weather update as Tiger's running over, and we're sitting there in the back. We're sitting there in the back watching it. We've got the satellite, which is the clean feed from the network, and then we got a cable feed on another, and it's a little bit of a delay, so I could see what the people are seeing, and I could see what we're feeding. And all of a sudden, I look up and I see my buddy Mace Michaels, not his fault, doing this. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we breaking in right now? Is Tiger's lining up this? And I run out into the newsroom and I'm like, go back to golf! Go back to golf! You can even hear me in the background as Mace is doing his cut-in. They didn't. And the phones start ringing. And Timmy, if I'm going to tell you, it was 5:30 in the afternoon. They did not stop ringing until everybody left at about 2:00 in the morning.
Good. Well, yeah.
And I went up to the woman who said that, and I'm like, still think people don't care about sports?
Speaking of sports, JP, we have some breaking NBA news.
Oh, is it the LeBron story?
LeBron just signed a 2-year
Miami
$8 million deal with a player option. The Philadelphia 76ers.
No, he's going to Philly? Wow. I'm shocked by that.
And now I have 2 more years at least here that I just don't care about the NBA.
Wow. In Philadelphia, that's crazy. Yeah.
Where were the Rays in the LeBron James contest sweepstakes? Where was he on there? Where were they on his list of where he might go?
If the previous regime were here, it would be leaked out to Ken Rosenthal that we were in it for LeBron.
LeBron had a better chance of signing with the Rays than Aaron Judge ever did, okay?
Yes. Hey, we're in it on Shohei. Unless they're picking up the entire salary. Yeah. We're in it on Freddie Freeman. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. What else? We got to hit another break, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit one more break. We'll come back. We'll maybe get to a few more of the comments. And also get to our Rays or our Bucks defensive line preview before we get out of here for the weekend. Camp starts next week. Holy shizbang. Away we are. Away we go. All right. Quick break. Thanks again to all of our great sponsors you see there at the below that allow us to do this independent journalism. Folks, we would love your support as well. You can go to YouTube, give us a super chat, or sign up as a VIP member and subscribe. We would really, really appreciate that as well. So many of you have done that. Andrew Katzman, Alejandro, Chip Clark is new. All of you, thank you so much. Back in 3. JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000. And all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, I've made an executive decision because there's so many comments coming in that we are going to delay our Bucks preview until Monday, because this is the biggest story of all time, and I want all you people to be heard, even the people that are angering me, because that's how.
And there's plenty.
Yes, not a lot, but there's a few. We want all sides to be heard. We're trying to be transparent here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate the comments. So let's get right back to them. Where do I want to go? Bella Bell is in here. Balala Bell says, hey, just saying much love to all the Petermans. It's been a busy summer, and I've been checking in. She says, every time there's momentum, politics, financing, or budget stuff slows everything down, and it's really frustrating because this isn't just another project. It's our city, it's our team at some point. Listen, all those questions just need to be answered, and everything has to be done in the right way. They got to get all the negotiations done. That's been part of it. We've never said, well, just got to rush this through no matter what the deal is. We've never said that. But for God's sakes, 20 years, 9 months of negotiating this, it doesn't need to take that long. I mean, just, again, look at other municipalities. You guys act like the only way to get this done is to take 25 years. It doesn't take that. And if you're saying we're rushing this through, are we rushing it through, or are you not taking, as a council person, the sense of urgency to get your questions answered? Because, again, people are available. I mean, I don't know why it takes that much longer. As Bell says, stop kicking the can down the road and get a fair deal done. Buck Skull Game says, can the Major League Commissioner look at the Major League Commissioner is in this, and he's doing all he can to get it done, but he can't force city council members to stop playing politics. Brandon G says, the image of Babby and Carlson meeting this morning is a sign that the Rays aren't planning on cutting out the city. If there was a deal to be had without the city, Babby wouldn't be with him the day after. You are correct. And that's why I talked to Babby this morning. And that's why I came to tell you that the best way through this is keeping the city involved. There is a way, there are other ways, but that is not the way to go about it. It just brings a lot of uncertainty into play. And my analogy is that it will make the Rays a free agent if we continue to delay. Again, if there's a good reason to delay, I'm all ears. Property tax. I answered that question. And I think any intelligent person would tell you the same thing. Yesterday says, I'm sure Mayor Castor already addressed them off social media. Now she needs to go public so that the voters can see who is doing this deal and who we need to vote out. Listen, there are two ways to go about this. Scorched earth on a city council, threaten them with their jobs and go crazy. I don't think that's the best way forward at this point, because the deal can still be saved. Ken Babby would not be meeting with Bill Carlson this morning if there wasn't a way through this. There is. I've talked to multiple people. They can get it back on track next week, get it voted on, and everything's fine. Maybe this was just a shot across the bow. I don't think that's the way to play it. And what they did was, borderline actionable, to the council members. What they did, I don't want to call it illegal, but it's actionable in terms of them being censored or worse, removed. Nobody wants to do that, but cooler heads need to prevail and just get this done. And if Carlson or Hertak wants to be the hero, I don't care which one. Somebody needs to step up and make it happen.
Somebody can be a hero here.
Yeah. Who's good? Who's it going to be?
You want to mark your legacy? This is a good way to do it, man.
Want to be mayor? Be the hero.
Yeah. You want a free meal everywhere you go? Well, you probably already have that.
Yeah. Yeah. And no one will remember what you were against it if you're the one that puts it over the top. Trust me on that. You'll get all the credit. They'll name a park after you. They might even keep your seat. American Business said it's going to get done. Hell of a job, JP. Thank you. Appreciate that. Arnold Buckley says the city council is ridiculous. The city council seems so childish. I'm so frustrated with them. Right Brain says it's tough to be nice if there's people here that are trying to nix this new stadium deal. I asked that question last night. Like, are they trying to tank this deal? These people, we're just keep the county from doing the deal? And the answer was to be determined. To be determined. And if that's what you're doing, wow, that's really bad. I mean, can you imagine having someone want to dump $8 to $10 billion into your city within your city limits and build something like this, and you tanking the deal and not letting even the county and the people, the majority of your constituents who want it, that's bad news, in my opinion. I'm going to put this up here just because it pisses me off, and I'm going to answer it. Alex Nunn says, JP, I feel sorry for you. Once the deal tanks, which it will, you're going to lose a lot of followers for being the puppets of the Rays. Alex, you're a good dude. You're a good dude, man. I know you give a lot away. You're a rich guy. You've been nice to me, but that's bullshit, bro. And the fact that you even said that really pisses me off. Really. And I put it up there just out of respect to show people that I put up things that maybe I don't like. But I'll answer you because that's fucking bullshit, bro. I'll look you right in the eye. And I'd like to, I'll call you later. We'll talk. But that's just bullshit, bro. I know you may feel the way you feel, but to call me a puppet, I haven't taken one effing dollar from those folks. And my track record about this project is long storied. Way before I knew who Ken Babby or any of these guys were. I've championed this for a long, long time, and you damn well know it. And I am fully invested. Yes. Do I still think it's going to get done? Absolutely. And until there's no way through, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not going to come on here. For me to say otherwise would be bullshit. I don't know where you're coming from, but that's disappointing that you would say that. Because you're full of shit.
It's kind of disappointing.
I mean, like, go look up some past shows from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. As Airweed says, Carlson meeting with Babby this morning is very positive. We need more things like this happening. Yeah, it's all part of the process, folks. Rodney Reed says, I watched the city meeting live, and as a city employee, I was so upset. Thank you, Mayor, for speaking out. Does DeSantis swing in again and lean on a couple council members, says Jeffrey Lee. I think he would be. That's if politics are involved, let's play politics. Absolutely. But again, think of where the dissenting votes are from politically, far left, and where DeSantis is. But still, political pressure certainly can be applied. That's the way a lot of this stuff gets done. Michael LaRue says, as much as I dislike Manfred for how he handled the 2017 Astros cheating scandal, I have to give him credit for officially killing the St. Pete Stadium deal and pushing Stu out of the owners club. Yep. 100%. None of this even gets close without that happening. Life with Lucy says Clendenin pouting last night's meeting was hilarious. Or punting? I'm not sure what she's saying here. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have put that one up. Michael LaRue says, kidding. Stu out is a huge deal. If they pull out of this Tampa deal, we should build a statue of Manfred on a Dale Mabry if they pull it out and get it to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Timmy, if you see anything else that's worth putting up here, let me know. I want to get more other voices in here. Tampa, Chip Clark says Tampa is going to let Mickey Mouse take the Rays. That's a possibility, but it's still, I still don't think MLB would want it in Orlando, to be quite honest. It would have to be a last resort. I think they would take it to, they've got probably 10 cities that are vying for 2 expansion clubs. And yeah, I just don't think it would happen.
Did you get Alejandro's super chat yet? His $20 super chat?
Did not.
Let's do that on there.
Alejandro says, listen, all Petermans, the deal is going to be done. And I'm very optimistic about it because this is political bullshit and we are fine. The city would do the same to the Bucks and Lightning if they didn't have championships already. I don't know about that, Alejandro. I think it's, the Lightning and the Bucks get treated differently because they've been here a long time. The Rays haven't. But that should, in terms of being in the Tampa City limits. And again, that should not be part of this process whatsoever. You know, if it were an either or situation, a true either or situation, I get it, but that's not what this is. There's enough money. And again, if you don't, with all due respect to my employer, the Lightning are not putting in $8 billion. They did $3 billion downtown and Water Street. And look how that worked out. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. If you're on a city council and you're like Pete Bolin and said, "Oh, these deals are highly speculative." Really? Did you say that when we gave Jeffrey Vinnick $100 million for Water Street, and we've gotten back $1.2 billion in taxable revenue? Did you say that then? And for Mr. Carlson, who doesn't like any public money going to billionaires, that deal worked out pretty good for the city. Don't you think? Good thing we didn't pass on Water Street. Just saying. Put this one up. Olin Doyle Hill says the Orlando Dreamers are requesting $975 million in Orange County tourist development tax funding. It appears they have the votes. That's no coincidence. It matches the public investment proposed in Tampa. I can't understand how any elected official could knowingly pass on this opportunity, only to spend decades watching the Rays succeed just 2 hours away and be remembered for letting it slip away. That's a legacy no leader should want. You're 100% correct, my man. I just don't. Again, I know a lot of these politicians live in bubbles, especially the ones who are voting against it and may never even have gone to a baseball game or seen one in their lifetimes. But a lot of people care. A lot of your constituents care. And even if you're not a baseball fan, if you're one of the 12,000 people that will get a permanent job from this, you might be interested in it. If you're one of the 39,000 construction workers who will be working for 3 to 5 years on this project, bringing all this, by the way, that money that we give them does not go into the Rays' pockets like many of you keep saying on social media. It goes to build the project, which goes to construction companies here locally and workers here locally. Not all of it, but a vast majority of it stays right here. There's return on investment, unlike the $100 million new city building. So all the city council folks will get new offices. There's no return on investment on that, but yet you spend that money.
No revenue.
None. Brandon says, JP, at what point do you believe the Rays will start truly evaluating options elsewhere? I'm thinking this gets delayed now past August at minimum, and then decisions have to be made. Listen, I don't know the answer to that question definitively. I don't. I just know how the process works. And these guys, all these places are chomping at the bit. And MLB is tired of this process here in Tampa. And if this particular deal just goes south, Manfred just may say, F it. It's just never going to work. And take it elsewhere where they'll be welcomed with a golden road of tax dollars that would be way more than what they're going to get here. Sandy Chess asked, wouldn't there be another vote necessary? It was a 5-2 no. There were two different votes that were taken. The one that stopped the process was a 4-3. And that was the one that was transmitting the comprehensive plan land use agreement. So a lot of minutia there, but basically you just need one more vote to get the process back rolling. And then, yes, for a final vote, you're going to, it's 4-3 as it stands right now against, but someone can be the hero in a political year. Might be a good idea if you're polling at 13%. Wow. Somebody asked at what point Solomon Rothberg said, at what point does Castor step in and threaten the council at this point? And how is Miranda still on a seat? Well, she has no power to do that. She can't change the votes. They already hate each other. So there's nothing really that the mayor can do except express her frustration in the public eye and point the blame at the city council, because that's all part of it too. If it fails, she doesn't want to take any of the blame, and I don't blame her. She shouldn't. She's been all for this and been a great steward of it. Todd Campbell says the entire purpose of the CRA is to remove slum and blight and increase the ad valorem base in the area. I'm not sure how much more effective a development could be than what is proposed. The board is a joke and should be removed. Unfortunately, the only way to do that is to vote out the council who serves as the CRA board. Good luck. Good Lord, what a shit show Tampa City politics is. Nailed that one. Absolutely 100%. Michael LaRue says, JP has been right all along. No one in this market has been more accurate on the ownership and stadium situation. He was the lone voice on many of the biggest developments, and time has proven him right. That's directed at you, Alex Nunn. And that's true. This one from Solomon as well. For a city as big as Tampa, this will be a catastrophic fuck up for a city that's been one of the largest growing cities in the country, but acting like Midland, Texas.
Hey, what's wrong with Midland, Texas? It's a shot.
They probably would have got it done quicker than these jamokes.
Midland's got football stadiums bigger than the Trop.
What else do we have here? Brandon says, also the state money for HCC is appropriated for 26-27 fiscal year budget. If it goes beyond that, chances are the Rays lose that money. So they lose that money and won't have the DeSantis in office either. Yes. Yeah. Well, everybody, Alex, you can keep screaming, slow down, slow down, slow down. You don't acknowledge the price of slowing down. And again, for what reason? For what reason? Give me a reason why to slow down. I don't see one. It's 9 months of negotiating should be plenty. What else?
In every other city, that is more than adequate time. Every other city.
Yeah. What else? Anything else here?
Jimmy J. Voyager $5 super chat.
Says whichever hero steps up and gets this deal done should be the one with the scissors cutting the ribbon at the ceremony. Give them the photo op. Sure. I don't care. Carrie asked me, do I think the city councilman flips? If I have to bet, I say yes. I say yes. Unity Gods says, Bill on X to the mayor, if this deal fails, it will be the fault of you and your office for your arrogance and incompetence. Do you really think that the council and the public don't know what's going on? So I don't. Because the council is not, the council still has the final say of the negotiated documents, right? So, and you can go to, Babby's going to meet with every council member this week. So if their objection is still, we're not part of the negotiation, now meeting with them is not technically being in the negotiating room. Hopefully that does the trick. Yeah. All right. Anything else new? All right. Alex Nunn did give us a super chat of $10. I'm reading most of your stuff. Said, JP, no hard feelings, but 20 years of this shit. End of the day, 20 years, everyone says come to Tampa. They are here. What's the issue, especially if it's only over 80 million? Well, listen, none of that. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm frustrated too. But calling me a sellout, how does that help, bro? Come on, dog. But 20 years, the reason it's 20 years is because the guy that was there before didn't want to build a stadium. Didn't want to risk any of his own money. That's why. It's not because of us. It's not because of St. Pete, Hillsboro. That was the reason. And for many years, we were all fooled. For the last 8, I've been telling you, he ain't doing it. You got to get him out. We need a new owner if we're going to get this job done. We finally got to that point. It's not like, oh, now we're here. Now Tampa doesn't want us. No, it's a couple of fools that are keeping this up. They don't represent everybody, especially, think about it. Miranda represents everybody. The dude can't even have a cell phone or work a computer. Lynn Hertak, she's got 13% of the vote, the polling. You think she represents the majority of people here? No, not even close. Guido Maniscalco, come on now. No, I'm not buying that. I don't think they represent the majority of the people. and how they're feeling. And I think if you look at the comments today, you would see that as well. Yes, my audience a little skewed towards towards supporting it, no question about it. I'll give you that. But I'm reading almost every negative one I can put up here. Matt Faustini says this is why the Rays always ended up with a deal back in Pinellas. You can say the location isn't great, but we got a deal signed and done and paid for multiple times. Tampa fails each time. Tampa failed once, and that was because Stu walked away. And guess what? St. Pete failed the same way because Stu walked away. I mean, you guys are confusing the process here. You're confusing the process dramatically. And it is a failed location, and Major League Baseball is never going to build it there, Matt. Get over it. It has nothing to do with how great St. Pete is. Stop taking it so personally. You can't build a baseball stadium on the edge of the market. It doesn't work anywhere. Yeah, this one is telling. I think we talked about it again, but we'll do it one more time. Go Millionaire says this was up. What is up with Hertek's comment on the Romano article saying, I keep coming back to the phrase, just because it's your emergency doesn't make it mine. They don't negotiate with city council. They're not supposed to guys. Oh my God. You act like you have no power. You have all the power. You can talk to the Rays as many often as you want. Negotiations are for city staff and county staff. They get that part done and then they bring it to you. That's the process. And you can talk to staff and direct them in any way that you want. And just if you don't recognize the urgency, maybe a lot of other people do. You want to hold it up just for what? Give me a reason. Give me a reason why you're holding it up. Because you haven't been involved in negotiations. That's not how this works. You want to change how all these deals are done? And you still have a voice. Like, you act like you have no power or voice. Get involved. Be part of the solution instead of saying, it's not my emergency. Well, guess what? A lot of other people, it matters. The timing matters. You want to let the Rays go talk to other people, and you'll be the reason that they're gone. All right, I'll just wrap this up by saying, look, I've talked to a lot of people involved in this, and I'm very confident there is still a way through with the city. And I believe Bill Carlson is the key to that. And he met with Babby for 2 hours this morning. That's a positive thing. He would, if he wasn't thinking about changing his vote and making this happen, he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have reached out to Ken Babby. He just wants to have his say, or maybe set himself up as the hero, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. If we're going to play politics with it, just get it done. So if you're part of my Peterman audience, I would say reach out to Bill Carlson in the nicest, most respectful way you can and say, please, sir, be reasonable and get this done. Get it back on track. Let's get this done next week. Give us your vote like you did for the MOU. And we will support you in the election coming up. Don't threaten his job, but just support. Yeah, that's fine. You'll get the credit. But this deal is far too good for Tampa Bay. It should be a layup. I know it is in every other municipality in America, it seems like, except this one. And this one is it's not about the deal. It's about politics, in my opinion. And that should never be why we say no and send the Rays down the road, thinking that it's going to help you in some way in your political future. Look at the deal, evaluate it on its merits. If you have questions, you have concerns, you're going to meet with Ken Babby this week, tell him what they are, and get it done. But don't block it. At this point, there's a way through with the county funding the whole thing, but don't block it. Don't keep the county from being able to make this happen. And that's a possibility here. I still think there's ways around it, but it would certainly help the timeline and things go much easier if we could get the city on board and the cops and the firefighters could all get their overtime for the next 35 years working at the stadium instead of letting the county people get all that done. You don't want that to be part of it. You want to be part of the city benefits. You want to be part of the celebration. You want to be part of bringing people together, bringing your constituents together through sports, which baseball does maybe better and sports does maybe better than any avenue in the world. It's going to be a wonderful gathering point where people come together and can celebrate not only baseball, but graduations and wrestling events and concerts and all these wonderful things that bring us humans together. And we support this in so many ways, right? And keeping a team here that so many of us are emotionally attached to. It's a big part of what makes Tampa Bay great, are our sports teams. It's not to mention the economic impact of jobs, 12,000 jobs at least. Improving a blighted area. I mean, in a time when AI is displacing so many people, these are real jobs that are needed. And if we say no to this, it just goes down the road and those people get all the benefits. It's our deal to have right now. We have this deal in our back pocket. It's a great deal, and it's game-changing for everyone who lives here, even if you're not a baseball fan. So I implore you, email Mr. Carlson, email the entire city council and say, please, let's get this done, and be respectful if you can. Please do. All right, thank you guys for being here today. And once again, thanks to all our sponsors who allow us to do this and this independent journalism. If you'd like to support us, you can go to YouTube, become a member, and subscribe at any level. We have a VIP level and a regular level. We really, really appreciate that to continue to do what we do. Thank you. Thank you all for allowing us to do this. Have a great weekend. Go Rays this weekend. We got Bucks next week starting up a training camp. We'll be there reporting on that as well. I'll be on social media all day long. I'll try to respond to as many people as I can. If you have questions, I'll probably be doing an extended cast a little bit later on today. So become a member, be part of that as well. We'll see you. Have a great weekend.